Hey fam, I'm sitting here a little tickled about how the tables turn in life, and I'm going over in my head how I keep seeing a lot of videos now and a lot of people's platforms getting on women. We have to admit, ladies, we got issues, and it's obvious, but we somehow don't think we do. We want to blame everything that goes wrong on a man. And I'm telling y'all, that feminism thing is a wicked spirit that was let loose on the earth to have women hate men, mainly us. It was geared toward us because other races and other cultures, they're still marrying and living nicely with their men. Even if the marriage ain't great, they believe in the culture of marriage. They believe in family. But we're running around here. I got this degree. I got that degree. I got all of this money. I don't need no man. We have not been successful in maintaining good relationships, but we're successful on our jobs and in our careers, though. And at the end of the day, can you hug and kiss your money and your career? Can you share life's experience with your money and your career? So you got these things, and now what? You are manless. And some of us don't mind being single because when I was single, I didn't have a problem with it. I'm not the type of woman that's clingy like that, and I was fine in my singlehood. I have a romantic bone in my body, so I love romance. I enjoy kissing and hugging. I'm very cuddly and affectionate, and so I miss those things when I did not have a man. But I wasn't crying and longing for one because I was okay in my singlehood because I think I needed to be that to grow. I needed to be single to grow, and so I was fine. And even if I always tell my hubs, if anything go wrong between him and I pray not, because I love him dearly and I enjoy our relationship, I would not do this again. It takes a lot of work and effort and patience and self-discipline to be in a good relationship, right? And it's not something that women want to put in. Women don't want to put in that work. They think everything's supposed to come easy. They think they're supposed to come as they are and stay as they are, and they don't have to develop themselves in any way. But that man, he got to be perfect. He have to have goals. He got to look good. He have to provide for you. He has to be perfect. Don't talk to nobody. Don't look at nobody. Don't get on the computer. Don't be on his phone. Y'all want to lock that man down. Y'all want to put that man in prison. He's going to be in prison in a relationship with a woman like that. And so I'm just loving this whole idea of how the tables have turned, because we used to complain about men all the time about everything. He did this to me. He did that. He this, he that. As if we're perfect. And we don't have issues and faults. We have the worst self-esteem issues in the world. Most women hate themselves from the top to the bottom, from the inside out. And these things reflect in our relationship with men, because now we want these men to validate us when you can't get that from them. Your validation comes from the Most High God. He said you were wonderfully and fearfully made. And if you don't believe that, that's your problem. That's not his problem. So now anytime he goes anywhere and does anything, you scared, you think he's cheating, you don't want him to do this, you don't want him to do that. I was looking at I like court shows. That's my little guilty pleasure. Those court shows. I like couples court, divorce court, paternity court. I like those things when I do watch TV. So I'm watching couples court. This woman had her man quit his job. She had him quit his job so that she wouldn't have him be around any women, and he did it. What kind of man is that? What kind of man lets a woman run him like that where he no longer provides for his family? And whether she knows it or not, him sitting in the house is even more of an opportunity for him to cheat. Because while you out at work and got him sitting in the house like he's some child on punishment, he could bring the women in there. You're making it even more convenient for him. He's idle. He don't have nothing to do with his time. Why would a woman want her man to not work, to sit in the house? Y'all women are messed up. If you have that type of mentality, something is wrong with you, and you need to seek help, dear. Because ain't no way I want a man sitting in the house being a bum, a lazy bum, doing nothing, because my insecurities are so deep that I don't want him to leave the house. The man has a computer, he has his phone. You could do so much things on those items, but you're going to take that away from him too? We're so busy controlling men that we don't have no control over ourselves. Our emotions are a mess. We have no control over our emotions. We think we're going to run this man. So this feminine thing, this feminism spirit, that's what I want to call it. The Bible could call it Jezebel spirit too. Want to be the boss, want to run stuff. You want to run a man. You want to be the man. Then you don't need a man because you got yourself, right? You say you don't need him, so you really don't. You got you. You have become the man, dear. So I'm loving this new movement where women are getting put in their place, because we done lost our minds. Y'all think it's something wrong to say I'm submissive to my man. The Bible tells us to be submissive. But see, when you don't know your word, you don't understand what that means. Christ said, love your wife like I love the church. Christ died for the church. He gave up everything for the church. So if you have a man that will give up everything for you and sacrifice it all to love you, why would you not want to submit to a man like that? Woo, it's itching my nose. Excuse me. We are a mess. And we so caught up in ourselves, in our own crazy way of thinking. We want to take that and put that on that man and expect him to live the way we want him to live. Certainly that is not a man that you would want if you have any good sense. I don't want no man who I could just run all over him, boss him around, tell him what to do, tell him how to live, and just trample all over him like he's some child. That's not a man. That is definitely not a man. I don't even think women know what the heck they want in a man. You want one, but you don't know what you want in him. You want a child? A grown child? Because his mama already raised him. And whether she did a good job at that or not, it's none of your business. Now, if he's not suitable for you, then you should leave him alone. But you don't take a grown man and try to raise him. He's already grown. And a lot of people have trauma that happened and occurred when they were young. So a lot of times they say mentally you're stuck at that age. But that's not for you to fix. He has to get that healing on his own. And healing comes from the Most High God. You don't run nobody because you can't even fix yourself. And that's our problem. We always feel like we have to fix somebody. But we forget to fix ourselves. We are the most broken people on the earth. All broke up in little itty bitty pieces. Work that puzzle out, okay? Because you can't fix no man. You can't fix him. Now, the point in being in a couple, because what I find with myself and my husband, we went through our bumps in the earlier part of our marriage. We've been married 7 years. But honey, this is the smooth part. It's getting good. You know why? Because we put God first. We study that Bible together, we pray together, and we laugh together. Sometimes we can't even stay mad at one another because we bust out laughing. And the petty arguments that we have, they could blow up and be big. They be petty. They be silly stuff. When I tell you it's silly stuff, it's silly stuff. It's never anything for us to leave one another for. It's so ridiculous. But it's good to be at a place where you see the ridiculousness in what you're doing. We catch ourselves because we have God who guides and leads us. And I'm not saying we're a perfect couple, but we're a good match. And because we have the good Lord as the head of our marriage, this thing is going to work. And we're going to have some times where we have curves and bumps and hills in the marriage, because that's life. We're human beings. But overall, when you learn to respect your spouse and respect yourself and then know your place, that's the thing. Nobody knows their place, and a lot of men don't either, because they wouldn't let no woman tell them, oh, you got to quit your job. Okay. You big dummy, you gonna sit home and not earn anything and let that woman run you? That was the most dumb thing I ever heard in my life. Nobody knows their place in marriage today. And that's our biggest problem. You don't even know how to be a wife, but you want to be one? Talking about I ain't cooking, I ain't cleaning, I'm not doing that. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? You don't want to make your house a home? You don't want to make your home a place where that man love coming home so much that he wouldn't dare think about it going with no other woman. I don't care how fine she is. He going to be like, I got the cream of the crop. Why would I look elsewhere? There's nothing that I need because my baby giving me everything I need. And you don't want to be there for your man? Something's wrong with y'all. Something is so wrong with y'all. And then the other women on the flip side who take any old piece of thing, you really are lost and messed up because your self-esteem is shot. It's just gone. And y'all will take any raggedy piece of man and get mad at him because he's raggedy. Get angry with him because he's raggedy. You knew he was raggedy and you with him, but now you want to complain because there you go. You think he's a fixer-upper. Well, if I just love him right and I just tell him what to do, things going to work out. No, it don't work that way. The hardest thing for any of us to do is to change ourselves. So you think you can change somebody else? You don't have the power to do that. Now, that's what I was going to say earlier. I got thrown off track. I be rambling because I have so much in my mind. I be trying to get it all out. When you are in a couple, you do make one another better. You best believe me and my baby enhance one another. Because you can see your spouse and you can see their potential. You can see the things that they need to do to grow. You can see their gifts and you be like, boo, you know you do this well. They open you up to open yourself up to be better. So that's the benefit of being in a relationship, in a marriage, right? So, but you don't take somebody who's a complete mess and expect that they want to grow because a lot of times they're so stuck in a rut. They need help. They need help that you can't give. And if one thing my father said to my grandmother, let me tell you, my grandmother always say, I'm praying for you. And there was nothing wrong with that, honey. I think we're still surviving off of her prayers. Bless the Lord for her prayers because he heard her. He says the prayer of the righteous availeth much, honey. And she was a one praying warrior. But one thing she could never pray for, well, her prayers can't work. My dad told her and I heard him out and I said, I must have been 14. He said, mother, and he was being vindictive and devilish, but he was right. He said, mother, you could pray all you want, but ain't nothing going to change in me until I want it to. And that was the gospel truth. Your relationship with the Lord is an individual thing. Nobody can pray that for you. What my grandmother did pray for was protection and ask the Lord to keep us. And he's done that. Now, he could keep us until we're 200 based on grandma's prayer, right? But if you don't decide you want to make any changes in your life yourself personally, you're going to go straight to hell. So I'm letting y'all know there is no possible way for you to have the power to change anybody. We fight and struggle to change ourselves. So don't try to change anybody. That's not your job. It's not your duty. Your man is not your child. And if you want to treat your man like a child, there's a lot of dysfunction going on up in here, honey. You are messed up. You don't want to sleep with no child, do you? We think we know it all. We think that we every man's dream. Not so. You're aggravating. You're annoying. You're too self-absorbed. You're too blind to see your own mistakes, but you want to focus on all of his. I'm loving this new era, this new day and age. And I'm a woman, honey. I know how to take the truth and I know how to see myself in what somebody is saying. And I'm like, wow, that's me. Wow. Recognize your mistakes and work on them. There's nothing wrong with that. The only way to correct yourself is to see your faults. We want to deny it. We want to think we're perfect and everybody else is jacked up. No, that's you. You're jacked up. If you think like that, you're the one that's jacked up. But I'm loving this new day and age, y'all. I'm not lying. They coming for us, even other women. We are putting each other in place. And y'all, those of you who don't want to hear it, it's because something is wrong with you. Something is definitely wrong with you. Yes, you have allowed this world and its insane feminism craze to affect you. And it's wicked. It's satanic. It's demonic, whether you believe it or not. It is. The Father loves family. He loves it. We thrive in family. We thrive in that. It's beautiful. It's security. It's wonderful. It's what life is all about. And when you don't have that, you feel incomplete because you are. There's incompletion. A man and woman, when the two come together, they are one. And we are complete in one another. And when we make those babies, beautiful family comes from that. We teach our children the righteous way of living. They repeat that. And they are blessed. But when we don't teach them the right thing, we're putting a curse on our babies. We're cursing their lives. And that's when we don't understand. And we're doing all these crazy things in front of our children. We're teaching our children to disrespect men. We're teaching our children to disrespect us too. Walking around here all nasty and ratchet and shaking and twerking and swinging on poles and saying, I can do what I want. Your mentality is messed up. Don't tell me what to wear. You ain't my father. He ain't your father, but you want to be his mother. Y'all women are messed up. I hope and pray that some of you women who think ridiculously like this are watching this video. And something I'm saying is going to hit a nerve. You're going to get a little annoyed because the truth does that to us. The truth annoys us because it makes us uncomfortable and it forces you to change if you got any sense. Right? If you got any sense, it's forcing you to look at yourself. Stop thinking you all that because you're not. You're annoying. You're antagonizing to that man. You're nagging. You're turning him off. You're making him look elsewhere. A man wants his woman to be his place of comfort, his place of solace, his place of peace, his place of rest. What are you? What are you? Are you ready for a relationship? Or you just want to have sex with somebody? I just want somebody to love me and praise me and tell me how beautiful I am and validate me. I don't have to do anything for him but just exist. But I want him to do all these things for me. You got issues, honey. You got mad issues. You ain't gonna never be happy. Happiness doesn't come from a man. It comes from the Most High God. So that even when that man don't exist, you can still find peace and joy in your life. And you cannot run a man. Any man worth having is not going to allow you to do that. Get it together, sisters. Get it together. And men, take your place. Stop being a wimp and a punk. Because a true woman, we don't want no man like that. We want a man to know how to hold his own and set us straight because we need it sometimes. Oh yeah, we need it. Do your job. Play your part. Everybody has a position to play. Women have a position to play and men have a position to play. Play yours well. Peace, love, and blessings, family. It won't stop.